Happy day students, a hearty welcome to everyone. In the last class, we began with the story A Shot in the Dark, which was written by Saki. We saw the character sketches of the story. Philip Slitherby, a man who aspires to become a politician. Mrs. Salpan Jago, a rich and influential lady of high rank. Bertie, second son of Mrs. Salpan Jago. Clodder People Casey, a friend of Slitherby. So these are the four main characters in this story. We also read the story. Now we will continue with the story. Let's recall what we have seen in the previous video. In this story, A Shot in the Dark, Philip Slitherby travelled by train towards Brill Manor to meet his new friend Mrs. Salpan Jago. Mrs. Salpan Jago was a rich and influential lady of high rank. She had some social importance in Yorkshire, so Philip Slitherby relied Mrs. Salpan Jago. Philip Slitherby was considered seriously as his successor by his party managers, as there is a chance of the seat being held, as Salpan's influence could be considered. Slitherby had been delighted to meet her at a small and friendly luncheon party. He was more pleased when Mrs. Salpan Jago asked him to stay in her country house from Friday to Tuesday. So Philip Slitherby was travelling by train to Brill Manor. His companion in the train was a young man who was searching for something frantically. The young man introduced himself as a Bertie, the son of Salpan Jago. Bertie had left his purse behind in the hotel after sealing an envelope with the crest on the purse. Bertie needed £3 desperately and asked Slitherby to lend it to him. He explained that the Salpan crest was that of a demi-line. So this is what we have seen in the last class. Okay, let's see the next paragraph of this story. I think I can manage that, said Slitherby after a moment's hesitation. So after a moment's hesitation, Slitherby says that he can manage to give that amount. Thanks awfully. It's a jolly good of you. What a lucky thing for me that I should have chanced across one of the Matter's friend. Okay, Matters, that is mother's friend. Okay. So Bertie thanks him and it is very good of him. He also says that he was lucky to come across one of his mother's friends. It will be a lesson to me not to leave my exchequer lying about anywhere when it ought to be in my pocket. So it would be a lesson to him not to leave his national treasury. Exchequer means national treasury. That was a valuable treasury in that moment, okay, according to Bertie. So lying about anywhere when it ought to be in his pocket. I suppose the moral of the whole thing is don't try and convert things to purposes for which they weren't intended. Still, when a sovereign purse has your crest on it. So he says that the moral of the whole thing is that not to try and convert things to purposes for which they weren't intended. Still, when a sovereign purse has his crest on it. What is your crest, by the way? Slitherby asked carelessly. So Slitherby asked carelessly what was his crest. Not a very common one, said the youth. A demi-line holding a crosslet in its paw. So it was a demi-line holding a crosslet in its paw. So it was not a common one. So look at the picture of the symbol. Okay. When your mother wrote to me, giving me a list of trains she had, if I remember rightly, a greyhound courant on her notepaper, observed Slitherby. There was a tinge of coldness in his voice. With a tinge of coldness in his voice, Slitherby suspiciously told him that when his mother wrote to him, giving him a list of trains, she had a greyhound courant on her notepaper. That is the Jago crest, responded the youth promptly. The demi-line is a Salpan crest. We have the right to use both, but I always use the demi-line because after all we are really Salpans. So at this Bertie responded promptly. That was a Jago crest. The demi-line was a Salpen crest. Okay, the demi-line was a Salpen crest. Yes, a symbol. Okay, they are having two symbols. They are having two crests. A symbol. What is crest? A symbol representing a family. So they are having two crests. They have the right to use both. But he always uses a demi-line because they are really Salpens. But Bertie always uses the demi-line because they are really Salpens. So the young man said that they could use both. Demi-line was Salpen crest and Greyhound was Jago crest. Okay, so look at the picture. The young man said that he always used the demi-line. Let's see the next paragraph of the story. There was a silence for a moment or two, and the young man began to collect his fishing tackle and other belongings from the rack. My station is the next one, he announced. So there was a silence for a moment or two, and the young man began to collect his fishing equipment and other belongings from the rack. He announced to Philip Slitherbee that his station was the next one. So he reminded to Philip Slitherbee that his station was the next one. I have never met your mother, said Slitherbee suddenly, though we have corresponded several times. So suddenly Slitherbee said that he had never met his mother, though they have corresponded several times, though they have talked several times, but he never met his mother. My introduction to her was through political friends. His introduction to her was through political friends. I would rather like to be able to pick her out if she happened to be on the platform to meet me. Okay. So does she remember in her features as he may pick her out if she happened to be on the platform to meet him. So he also added that he was getting down in the next station. Okay, so the Bertie added that he was getting down in the next station. So Slitherbee asked him if his mom resembled him. The boy said that she had the same dark brown hair like me. Okay. She's supposed to be like me. She has the same dark brown hair and a high color. It runs in her family. I say, this is where I get out. Goodbye, said Slitherbee. So Bertie says that she was supposed to be like him. She has the same dark brown hair and high color. It runs in her family. As he reaches his destination, he informs him that he had to get down there. Slitherbee bids goodbye to him. You have forgotten the £3, said the young man, opening the carriage door and pitching his suitcase onto the platform. So the young man opened the carriage door and pitched his suitcase onto the platform, and he reminded him that he had forgotten the £3. Okay, he told him that he had forgotten the £3. I have no intention of lending you £3 or 3 shillings, said Slitherbee severely. But you said, I know I did. My suspicions hadn't been roused then, though I had necessarily swallowed your story. So there was a tinge of coldness in his voice because Slitherbee suspected that the young man was a liar. As he told Mr. Slitherbee that his crest was a demi-line holding a crosslet in its paw. So suspecting the foul play by the young man, Slitherbee said that he had no intention of lending him £3 or 3 shillings. The difference about the crest put him on guard. So there were 2 crests in his family. So there were 2 symbols in his family, but he didn't realize. Slitherbee, he didn't realize. Okay, so Bertie was upset and said that he had said that he would give him the amount. So Slitherbee said, he did say, but his suspicions roused after hearing his story. The discrepancy about the crest. Discrepancy means the difference about the crest put me on my guard. Okay, the difference about the crest put him on his guard, notwithstanding the really brilliant way in which you accounted for it. Then I laid a trap for you. Then he laid a trap for him. I told you that I had never met Mrs. Salpen Jago. As a matter of fact, I met her at lunch on Monday last. She is a pronounced blonde. So then he laid a trap for him. He told him that he had never met Mrs. Salpanjago, but as a matter of fact, he met her at lunch last Monday. She was pronounced blonde. Blonde, pale yellow hair. Okay, pearl yellow hair. So the train moved on, leaving the distant cadet of the Salpanjago family cursing furiously on the platform. So the train moved on, leaving the self-styled cadet of the Salpanjago family cursing furiously on the platform. So the boy said that she had the same dark brown hair like him, but when Philip Slitherbee saw her, she was a pronounced blonde. Blonde, that is pale yellow hair. So the young man stamps his feet furiously. So do you understand? Let's move on to the next paragraph. Well, he hasn't opened his fishing expedition by catching a flat, chuckled Slitherbee. He would have an entertaining story to recount at dinner that evening, and his clever little trap would earn him applause as a man of resource and astuteness. He was still telling his adventure in imagination to an attentive audience of dinner guests when the train drew up to his destination. So Slitherbee makes fun of the young man, saying that he hadn't opened his fishing expedition by catching a flat. He was happy at the thought he would have an entertaining story to recount at dinner that evening, and his clever little trap would earn him applause as a man of resource and astuteness. Astuteness is cleverness. So he told that he had an interesting story to tell to the audience at his dinner party. He was still telling his adventure in imagination to an attentive audience of dinner guests when the train drew up to his destination. He was imagining that he was telling his adventure to an attentive audience of dinner guests when his train came to his destination. On the platform, he was greeted sedately by a tall footman and noisily by Claude People Casey, who had apparently travelled down by the same train. So on the platform, he was greeted in a dignified manner. By a tall footman and noisily by Claude People Casey, who has apparently travelled down by the same train. Now we shall move on to the next paragraph. Hello Slitherbee, you spending the weekend at Brill? Good, excellent. We will have a round of golf together tomorrow. I will give you your revenge for Hoylake. Not a bad course here, and island courses go. Ha, here we are. Here is a car waiting for us, and very nice too. So Claude People greeted him and asked him whether he is spending his weekend at Brill. Okay, so a tall man received him. Okay, a tall man had arrived at the railway station to receive him, and he greeted him and asked him whether he is spending his weekend at Brill. He suggested that it was good that he was staying there so that he can have a round of golf together the next day. Okay, that is tomorrow, the next day. He said that he would give him his revenge for Hoylake. It was not a bad course there, and island courses go. Then he saw the car waiting for them. The car, which won the Casey's approval, was a sumptuous looking vehicle, which seemed to embody the last word in elegance, comfort and locomotive power. What is meant by sumptuous? Sumptuous, expensive looking. Okay, here it would him. Okay, he saw the car waiting for him. He compliments the expensive car. The car which won the approval of Casey was an expensive looking vehicle which seemed to contain the last word in elegance, comfort and locomotive power. Its graceful lines and symmetrical designs concealed the fact that it was an enormous wheeled structure combining the features of hotel lounge and an engine room. brilliant woman, level-headed, a clear thinker, knows exactly when to take up an individual or a cause, exactly when to let him or it drop. Influential woman, but spoils herself and her chances by being too restless. No repose, good appearance too, till she made that idiotic change. So Casey remarked, Mrs. Salpanjago is a brilliant woman, level-headed, a clear thinker, knows exactly when to take up an individual or a cause, and she also knows exactly when to let him or it to drop. She is an influential woman, appearance too, till she made that idiotic change. Change? Quiet Slitherby. What change? So Slitherby inquired. So what is the change? What change? You don't mean to say? Oh, of course. I have only known her just lately. She used to have beautiful dark brown hair which went very well with her fresh complexion. Then one day, about 5 weeks ago, she electrified everybody by appearing as a brilliant blonde. Quite ruined her looks. Quite ruined her looks. Here we are. I say, what is the matter with you? You look rather ill. So Casey told Slitherby that he wouldn't have known the change, as she was known to him just lately. She used to have beautiful dark brown hair which went very well with her fresh complexion. Then one day about 5 weeks ago, she excited everybody. Electrified means excited, thrilled, shocked, okay. She shocked everybody by appearing as a brilliant blonde. Blonde, pearl yellow hair. She changed the color of her hair. She quite ruined her looks. Slitherby sat dumbstruck on learning that Mrs. Salpanjago had changed her dark brown to a blonde just 5 weeks ago. Casey noticed this and asked him what was the matter with him, as he looked rather ill. So while describing the appearance of Honoria Salpanjago, Casey referred to her altered hairstyle. Slitherby sat dumbstruck on learning that Mrs. Salpanjago had changed her dark brown hair to a blonde just 5 weeks ago. So Slitherby realized that Bertie had not lied to him, but he had mistaken him for a fraud. So that is the story. I hope you all understood the story. Shot in the Dark is an amusing story that describes how a man who considered himself smart and very observant finds that he had mistaken the genuine plea of a standard youth. So the theme of this story is misconception. It points out that sometimes truth is misinterpreted and people who think they are acting wisely are not always right. So the feelings and actions of fellow human beings have to be trusted and given due respect. Okay students, I hope you all understood the story. Thank you.